Good morning, children. Welcome to our environmental education class today. And today we will be learning and revising chapter 4, soil. Okay, children. And in this chapter, we are going to learn in detail about soil, a medium for growth of plants, and also about soil structure. And then the next topic, we will learn about types of soil. And then the fourth topic, soil water. Soil water here means what? Here we are going to read. This will be a new thing for you to learn, resource. Okay, I will explain it to you. And then fifth topic will be soil as a medium for growth of plant. How it is. Okay. And then the next and the last topic is soil as habitat for organisms. So how is it possible? In detail, we will be learning in this chapter about soil and how much soil is important for us, each one of us, on the surface of the earth, and how is soil formed, what is the formation of soil, all these things in detail about soil, the importance of soil in our lives, we will be reading and we will be revising in this chapter. Okay, children, and I'll be sharing the screen with you now, so you please follow up, children. This is the chapter 4 of environmental education, and the name of the chapter is soil. The topic we are going to read in detail is about soil. Okay, children, how soil is a resource, you know, it's very important. Soil is, what is soil in short, for you to understand? In few words, soil is the topmost layer of the earth's surface. Okay, children. And it helps in the growth of vegetation. Crop production depends on the quality of the soil. We are growing crops, we are growing plants, forests, all these vegetation is grown on soil. And also crop production depends upon the quality of soil. Human beings and other animals are also directly or indirectly dependent on soil for their food and other necessities. Okay, children. So you can imagine how much soil is important for us. Thus, soil is an important resource. Okay, children. Now, I will explain to you in brief again about soil formation. Means, what is soil formation? How is soil formed? Soil formation is a long and very slow process. It takes many years to make 1 centimeter thick layer of soil. Okay, children. And due to the influence of wind, water, decomposition of organic matter, and human activities, what happens? Huge rocks continuously break down into smaller pieces. And this procedure is known as weathering. You know, I had explained it to you in geography. What is weathering? So breaking of the rocks in small pieces is known as weathering. So same thing happens here. And then this process is called weathering. Understood, children? Now what happens further? The weathered rocks mix with organic matter. Organic matter is what? Organic matter is decaying remains of plants and animals in the soil. Okay, children. So here, what happens? The weathered rocks mix with the organic matter to form soil. So you understood, children, how is soil formed? What is soil formation? This is very important for you to know that I am repeating here again. Due to the influence of wind, water, decomposition of organic matter, and human activities, huge rocks continuously break down into smaller pieces. And this process is called weathering. And after the weathering, the weathered rocks mix with the organic matter, that is decaying remains of plants and animals, to form soil. Hence, what is soil? In one sentence, soil is a mixture of rocks, minerals, and organic matter. Okay, children. Now, we will learn about the importance of soil. Again, I am repeating here that soil is thus the uppermost layer of the surface of the earth, and it is a result of weathering of underlying rocks and addition of organic matter and living organisms. Okay, children. Soil contains a variety of inorganic compounds. It is also home for a number of microorganisms, burrowing animals, etc. Okay, children. Now, the next topic comes soil structure. That means how is soil formed? The structure we will see now in the picture, in the diagram. Soil structure can be best observed in a cross section of soil. Here you can see in the picture, which shows distinct layers called horizon. Okay, children, here see, this is the soil diagram picture here, and we will start with there are 4 layers. Okay, children, soil structure can be best observed in a cross section of soil which shows different layers. These layers are called horizons. Now we go for the first layer, which is known as a horizon. This is topmost layer of soil. You can see here in the picture top soil. This is topsoil, and if you go and see here a horizon, this is the a horizon we are reading about, learning about, and about the topsoil. Okay, children. So a horizon is the topmost layer of soil in which the plants grow. Okay, children. And this is also the scene of biological activities. It is rich in humus. A horizon is rich in humus. What is humus? Here, humus means it contains organic matter. And organic matter means decaying remains of plants and animals in the soil. Okay, children. So thus, the humus is very good for vegetation, and we can say that it is very good to grow plants, and it is dark in color. Okay, children. So we have learned about a horizon, which contains humus, and it is also known as topsoil. Now we come to the B horizon. This layer, here. You see in the diagram here, horizon B, that is subsoil. See here. Now we are learning about horizon B. This is the layer below A horizon, and it contains some minerals along with humus. It is lighter in color than A horizon. Okay, children. And it is not as fertile as A horizon. Hence, it is not suitable for plant growth. So here in this diagram, B horizon, you can see it is also known as subsoil. This one here, B horizon, subsoil. And in the subsoil, what is mixed? Humus is mixed with minerals. Okay. Humus is mixed with minerals. Now it is not very fertile as A horizon. So this was the description of horizon B. Okay, children. Now we will come to the third layer, C horizon. C horizon we are going to learn about with the help of the diagram. We come to horizon C. This is the third layer. Here you can see horizon A, horizon B, horizon C, and horizon D. Now we are learning about horizon C. So this consists of, horizon C consists mainly of weathered rock fragments. Understood? And it is infertile because only rocks are there, weathered rocks. It shows accumulation of water. What does it do? It shows accumulation of water. Okay, children. Now we take the fourth layer, horizon D. Horizon D is the lowest layer, and it is consisting of unweathered parent rock material. What does it consist? It consists of unweathered parent rock material, or it is also consist of, you can say, either parent rock or bedrock. See, this is the last layer, horizon D. Bedrock or parent rock are here in the fourth layer. So now you know about all four layers. The first A horizon is the topmost layer, contains, which is also known as topsoil, and which contains lot of humus. Horizon B, the second layer of the soil, and it is known as subsoil. It has humus mixed with minerals. Horizon C, the third layer of soil. Here, what is present here in horizon C? Weathered rocks fragments are present here, and it shows accumulation of water. See here, water table, groundwater. This is the third layer. It shows accumulation of water, that is horizon C. And now we come to the fourth and the last layer of soil, that is horizon D. Horizon D is the lowest layer, and it consists of unweathered parent rock or bedrock. Either bedrock they are known as, or they are also known as parent rock. Okay, children. So this was about the structure of soil. Now we will go to the next topic, that is types of soil. So we will learn about the types of soil according to their particle size. Okay, so this is the classification of soil according to the particle size. So soil can be classified depending upon the size of the particles and water retaining capacity. So this classification is in 5 parts. Means according to or on the basis of the size of particle and water retaining capacity, there are 5 types of soil. The first type of soil is clay soil. Clay soil particles are very small. As you can see here in the picture, clay soil. So clay soil particles are very small, less than 0.002 millimeter in diameter. It feels very smooth as the soil particles are very small. Okay. And it has the property of holding a lot of water. You understood? It has a property of holding a lot of water. So here, as we are learning about the types of soil on the basis of size of particle and water retaining capacity. Okay, children. So now we have completed about the clay soil. Clay soil is very smooth and the soil particles are very small. And the other quality is that it has the property of holding a lot of water. Now we come to the second classification, second type of soil we have, that is sandy soil. The particles here of the sandy soil are 0.2 mm in diameter. The water retaining capacity is very less. It feels coarse to touch. Now we come to the third classification of the soil, that is gravel. Third type is gravel. The particle size is more than 2 mm in diameter and it actually consists of small stones. Okay, children. See here in this picture, you can see gravel soil. And now we come to the fourth classification of the soil, that is silt. Okay, children. What is silt? The particle size lies between those of clay and sand. Followed, children? Means the size, particle size of the soil is more than clay soil and little less than sandy soil. So it is between those of clay and sand. Now we come to the fifth type of soil. Fifth type of soil is loamy soil. Loamy soil, loam is a mixture of clay and sand. Okay, children. And it is ideal for plant growth as the water retaining capacity is moderate and the particle size is also good. The sandy and clay particles stick together to form soil crumbs, allowing drainage of excess water and circulation of water. Circulation of air. Okay, children. So I repeat here that loam is a mixture of clay and sand and it is ideal for plant growth as the water retaining capacity is moderate and the particle size is also good. So what happens? The sandy and clay particles stick together to form soil crumbs, allowing drainage of excess water and circulation of air for air to pass. So here you can see in this picture loamy soil. Okay, children. So by this, we have completed the classification of soil upon the basis of size of particle and water retaining capacity. Now we will go to the next topic, that is soil water. Soil water here means what is the main source of soil water? The main source of soil water is rainwater. Okay, children. And now another question arises. What is water table? So major part of the rainwater remains on the surface of the earth, while some water seeps down into the soil. As soil is porous, you know, some water seeps down into the soil, and as soil is porous in nature, this water reaches the non-porous rocky layer and collects over it, forming the water table. So children, now you have also learned that what is water table. Okay, children. Now another question arises. That question is, what is percolation? So further what happens? This water is used by us by digging wells and hand pumps. Soil thus helps in percolation. Percolation means rainwater sinking down. Okay, when it keeps sinking down, it is known as percolation. Okay, children. And what does it do? And making water available for us. I am repeating here. What is percolation? The water is used by us by digging wells and hand pumps. Thus, what happens? Soil helps us in percolation, means rainwater sinking down and making water available for us. Now, another question arises here. You have learned about water table, about percolation, and now another term is coming here in the chapter, water logged. So what is water logging? Now we will learn here what is water logging. So what happens at times, if there is a lot of clay in the soil, water cannot sink in but stays above the soil when it rains heavily. Okay, when does this happen? This happens when it rains heavily. What happens when it rains heavily? If there is a lot of clay in the soil, water cannot sink in but stays above the soil when it rains heavily. Then what happens? This type of soil can be called waterlogged soil. Okay, children. Which is not good for crops as why? As air spaces get filled up with water, making it impossible for roots to breathe. So this is known as water logging. Understood, children? Similarly, if there is too much sand, all the water sinks through, taking all the nutrients with it, making soil infertile. Okay, children. So this is what we have learned about water table, what is percolation, what is water logging. And now we come to the next topic about soil. That is, here you can see in this picture water logging. And now we will be taking this topic, soil as a medium for growth of plants. Means how much soil is important for the plants and what is the importance of soil. So here soil is a medium for growth of plants. Topsoil, as you know children, we have learned topsoil which contains humus. Okay, which is very good for the growth of crops and plants and vegetation. So it is rich in humus, contains essential nutrients for the growth of plant. Soil also contains water. This is the second importance of water. Soil also contains water. Then ordinary garden soil contains about 25% water by volume. Did you know this? No, you did not know. Now you know that ordinary garden soil contains about 25% water by volume. Water is retained by soil in different forms. The water which can be absorbed by the plants is termed as available water. And this water is used by plants. This water is used by the plants in manufacturing food by photosynthesis. You know very well, all the plants prepare their food, they make their food, and this process is known as photosynthesis. So now we know the importance of soil for plants and for human beings. Okay, it is very important for vegetation, very important for containing water. Now, next importance is soil also has air in between particles. This air is very useful for underground parts of the plants. It is also required for seed germination, root growth, water absorption by root, etc. Okay, children. So soil is all the more so important for so many things. Moreover, what happens further? This air is essential for soil organisms whose activity increases the soil fertility. So here, one more importance here we have. How soil fertility is increased? That is, soil also has air in between particles. This air is very useful for underground parts of the plants, and it also required for seed germination, root growth, water absorption by root, etc. Moreover, this air is essential for soil organisms whose activity increases the soil fertility. Humus formed by decayed organisms helps plant growth by providing nutrients and helping to hold water. Okay, children. So now we will go to the next topic, that is soil as habitat for organisms. Very important importance of soil, that is soil as habitat for organisms. There is a vast variety of organisms present in the soil. And soil is a habitat for a whole lot of living creatures. Okay, now we will be reading in detail about these living creatures. What are these creatures? First is the bacteria of soil. These are very useful and form the most numerous inhabitants of soil. Okay, children. Second is the fungi of soil. What is the fungi of soil? These are more abundant in acidic soil. They release simple nutrients by breaking down the dead organisms. Some fungi live in the roots of certain plants, benefiting the plants. Okay, children. And the third living creatures are organisms, that is the number of protozoas, worms, spiders, newts, scorpions also make soil their home. Mainly earthworms. You have seen earthworms, no? Earthworms improve the texture of soil. By moving through soil, they facilitate root penetration. And the fourth point is, the fourth type of organisms are some burrowing animals like rodents, fourth is some burrowing animals like rodents, snakes, lizards, and limbless amphibians also use soil as habitat. Okay, children. So here we have learned about the importance of soil. Means how soil is so very important for us. So thus we should save soil or conserve soil by protecting the soil from erosion. Okay, children. So this is all about the chapter soil. So your duty is to learn the chapter nicely, and once again I must tell you that soil is very important for us, for vegetation, for plants growth, for growing of crops. So thus we should save soil or conserve soil by protecting the soil from erosion. So children, thank you for watching. This is all for today. See you in the next class. Till then, take care and have a nice day ahead.